Hello everyone, in this video guys, I, as a scientist, am gonna break down if Alma makes any sense from an actual scientific standpoint. Right? So I have worked with AI stuff for many years, right? And I'm currently working off with, machine learning, reinforced learning, right? Bunch of AI stuff, even though I tend to not really touch it in that way, but I currently have a bunch of different students with that, and I'm teaching, PhD students, scientists, people in the industry, whatever, right, with different AI stuff. So I think it's kind of fun. Okay, let's watch the anime both from just a comedic standpoint. Okay, is it funny? It's very similar to Spy Family, Anya, cute little daughter, right? Family, fake marriage, and so forth. Is it comedy? Is it funny? And I find the anime, yes, it's funny and cute. But how does it actually work from an AI science standpoint? Obviously, it is a comedy. So I'm being a little bit facetious. I'm laughing about it a bit, right? But I still find it interesting thinking about how would an actual reinforced machine learning agent actually act if you built one, right? And I built many in my life, and how would it actually, function, and would it actually be realistic and so forth, right? And I think you guys know this AI just makes serious sense. Okay, Alma is cute or whatever, but she actually is not acting like an AI at all. Okay, I know I'm being negative now, and I of course explain it in the video in details here, but no, she's not actually acting like an actual AI would, and I will explain it of course in details later, guys. Let me get subscribe, press the like button, and if you like the content, guys, please leave a comment below and say you want more of this thing, right? So I am a scientist, talking about Dr.stone, right? I worked for a scientist at NASA last year or so on, and I done a lot. I mean, I finished what's that? I published my first paper, right, in 2010. Okay, guys. So I've been a scientist for, old man. Yeah, I'm old. On and off, of course, right? I worked in the game industry. Or otherwise as a scientist, and if the only thing I love more than video games and anime is of course actual science like math, physics, and also AI stuff, right? So it's really fun. I've been working with as an AI scientist now for about the last 6 years or so, and before that I was like the lead game designer, creative director at a video game company, and I also made the AI in that game. I also wrote all the AI code, did AI, did all the actual AI algorithm behavior, so on, right? So, and before that, I worked. I done AI for like 20 games, guys. Okay, plus being like a game designer overall, right? But I usually have also written the AI. And so, educational background, right? I studied like behavior science, studied like psychology, right? But first and foremost, then AI, like human behavior with interactive to technology, right? So I was there before we had AI. Basically AI courses, right? I was studying how to merge and build robots and machine or whatever. Basically Alma, right? So this is kind of what I studied back at 20 years ago. I studied how to build intellectual robots and so on. And my expertise usually is how to make an AI be as close to humanity as possible, right? So when I worked in a bunch of games, my expertise usually was to make the AI be a human, right? So people wouldn't know if they were facing an AI or not. It's easy to write a perfect AI, right, that plays a game perfectly. And my skill was more like I can make an AI that you don't know if you're playing as a bot, right, or a human. That was kind of my skill 10 years ago, right? And also, of course, being a game designer overall, then, and write some more code or whatever. But AI has always been one of my main things, right? So that's kind of what I got into. 5 years ago, and I become an AI scientist in this big project, and so forth. Right? And I've been doing it for many years now. And before that, I used to also give lectures, right, at different schools, right, design and also AI and so on. So anyway, guys, it's resume backstory there. Let's read the anime, guys. But seriously, right, I could see myself just making videos all the time, right. I have made some other side videos in the past, games and anime, but whatnot. It's something I can really dig into if people are interested. But anyway, let's talk about Alma there. There we go, this is like Robot Anya. Yes, if Anya was a little robot girl instead. Fire! She's perfect indeed. Military Anya. An ultimate masterpiece daughter. So this is the anime there, guys, right? It's about anime about Alma-chan. Even similar name to Anya, right? Yeah. So they built the perfect daughter, the ultimate intelligent machine robot thing. They can both fight and is adorable. Here we go. Father and mother, yeah. Shishi, haha, eh? Okay, today she's like, what? Aren't you my parents? Okay, here goes the opening. You see it, man. It's gonna be an adorable opening, definitely. The Alma-chan. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, she's a little cutie. Dun, dun, dun. It's adorable. No, it's very similar. Oh, I gotta do the two, but it's not Machi. Okay, it looks like they're a happy family now, but I wonder if it's gonna be how it is though. They hate each other, their parents. They're not actually lovers. No. But yeah, it's a very adorable, wholesome opening here. Little Alma. Also another girl with a robot. Is that like an evil scientist? Oh my gosh, you got a rival girl! Definitely, yeah, that other woman here is like a typical scientist lady. So this is an evil AI somewhere. Of course, probably gonna be your best friend later, right? Obviously, yeah, he looks super adorable, this anime, Jesus Christ. Yeah, this girl here, she's like an evil Alma. Definitely, it's like a little... 100% man, it has to be an evil scientist, I like that. And Alma is gonna fight her, I guess, or something. But yeah, it's an adorable opening. Oh, it's a maid too. That maid's also probably robots, like Initio. Yeah, it's gonna be a robot maid, definitely. Come on, I know my anime. Done it right. From that guy, I never even touched him. Yeah, the narrator is clearly Kazuma. Yeah, of course, they never even touched another lady. Yeah. They live in trash too. They have like all these garbage cans. Jesus Christ. They're very, very nerdy. They only care about making the perfect reinforced learning daughter. No, actually, I'm measuring my parents' heat signature. You seem to be very hot for each other. Literally hot. Okay, that's a good joke though. That's a good joke. Okay, so yeah, so obviously, right, infrared vision, I guess you can have it, right? And then she's like, well, father, you seem to be very aggressively hot towards mother. It's like, yes, that's a good joke. That's a good joke. So, you know, she's on reinforced learning AI, right? So I guess she's observing this butterfly and she's gonna do some iteration in her head here. What will happen if she destroys it, perhaps, or capture it? It's not cute now, though. She's like, I do carry her like a daughter. Guys, she's like, I do carry her like my daughter. Marriage. Yes, Aibo. But it's only like this! We're gonna do it! Yeah, it's like, okay. We can have a fake marriage. We can pretend to be parents for this robot. Okay. Oh, she's like, I officially raised. How did she do that? This is not... Okay, let me explain this thing now, though, as an AI scientist, guys. This makes no sense though, okay. I mean, it almost is a joke, but from a scientific standpoint, it of course makes no sense. It's one thing that she's misunderstanding them, and then she registers them as actually married, right? The problem is that of course you have to like hack the government or something, so it's a little bit... I don't know why I'm trying to be serious here. No, but in all seriousness, right? There's one thing that an AI could learn how to hack the government or whatever, but she's already like linked into the government before this thing, and she's also learned doing it. She's a reinforced learning AI. So you have to actually try several times before she can do it. So no, it makes zero sense because not only she does it already before that, so it's kind of like illogical because you have to like first attempt to do it. But I guess you could argue that when they said they're gonna get married, she was starting to attack the government, and by then she learned how to do it after they finished talking or something, I suppose. But I don't know why I'm trying to be serious here, but a little bit like, nah, this makes zero sense. Because she hasn't even tried to do it beforehand. You have to learn to do it first, right? This seems to be she's like storing data. So you got more marriage paper. Okay, she's keep hacking. This is the girl is a dangerous terrorist. She keep hacking the government. That's a crime! Stop doing crime, Alma! Yeah, she's like, I hacked the government again. Like, no, stop it, you're a terrible girl. She constantly deviates from her parameters, though. This doesn't make any sense, but I guess the parameters to make her parent happy. Yeah, no, they are actually married, I guess. Yeah, more! Yeah, it has the visual look. It doesn't have to actually be in a pyjamas. No, but it's important for the visuals. She has to understand what it means to sleep. Yeah, we have to give her a pyjamas. It's actually reportedly families sleep together. Why would you leave Dad? Why would you leave Mom, Dad? It's like, well, no, I'm not cheating on your mother. This is pretty adorable, I mean. Yeah, it's a pretty cute anime, right? They're obviously, again, not trying to do each other, right? Even though they clearly like each other and been working together for years, right? So it's a little bit silly in that sense, typical anime. But yeah, obviously, Robot Daughter is like, but are you like shitting on Mom or something? Why are you leaving for Daddy? Why are you leaving for her? Right? He's like, well, I mean he's like, yes, you're right. We should sleep together as parents do. So from an AI standpoint, right? Yeah, she does follow like the very basic parameter for code, right? and she observes the world from like what she can like basically Google, right? How a parent usually is or whatever. It is of course cute and adorable. I think it's funny. From an AI standpoint, though, this again actually makes serious sense. I'm with that guy now. I'm gonna explain to you now why this comedy, a little Anya, Alma anime doesn't make it. But in all seriousness, though, I mean, again, it's adorable. But this joke, from a technical standpoint, doesn't work because why would the AI only know this, right? So if an AI basically go online, right? And try to understand how marriage works, right? This is what she has done, right? She has like researched how AI works with parenting or something, right? The thing is that while she would find that like married couple live together and all that stuff, and that's true, she also would find, you know, movies and textbooks or whatever, right? How married couple are cheating on each other, or they are, you know, hating or fighting or whatever, right? So it actually makes no sense that the AI daughter only would have like the positive basic core family value standpoint, right? But I mean it. Maybe it's happening in anime, but I think actually I would have preferred if it literally was more serious, right? The AI would have this like conflicting feelings. Oh, you two are shitting on each other. Oh, you two, or you have a mistress there or whatever, right? Because if she's going online, right, and just trying to, you know, understand all this like love and parenting and family and so on, right, she would have all these conflicting messages in her head. What is actually love? What is a marriage? What is a husband and wife? What is a mom and dad, right? But she only has the very, very like basic generic, like this is a happy marriage thing, and that doesn't make any sense for an AI to. Like, yeah, in a modern time, the woman should be closer to father. But this is what I mean. Like, why is he obsessed with this particular thing of parenting and marriage, right? Yes, you're right, honey. Yes, of course we have to do it. Yeah, try to reboot your data, honey. It's like, go reboot yourself or something. That's basically sleeping. Okay. Yes. Okay. Just stop talking. It probably happens in here for a minute though, yeah, like rebooting herself. And no surprise, she can't sleep, and she's super annoying. But shut up, girl! Yeah, she's just like super annoying. But this makes sense. There's no way this AI will fall asleep during the actual night, right? It keeps working forever. And it's just like... And they're both like, yes, they're used to not sleeping though, because they're a nerd. And this is cute, and she's waking them up here. She's like, okay, son, daughter! They have only the cute daughter now. And she's gonna snug up with them. Yeah, of course. Okay, so keep sleeping with you. They got a drone after her. Okay, this is a bit cute. They're like hardcore parenting. Okay, I love that thing though. Nerd parents. They're like, yeah, we have a drone following our daughter. Yeah, it's like, this is really happy you have two rich scientist parents. Look at her, she's so proud of her. Mom is like, so cute and proper, honey. No, the cat might be dangerous. The cat is dangerous for you. Yeah, no, the other route. It's so stupid. No, this is the wrong route. No, the drone. Stupid cat. We have to save her. That is adorable. Yeah, we have insane helicopter parenting. We have built a drone. Yeah, now she's like, no, don't gonna die. You're gonna die. Yeah, we have to capture her immediately. The cat is killing her. Yeah, exactly. Someone's gonna kidnap her. Yeah, it's gonna be some pearl immediately. I like how it's killing her mom. Oh, she got 7 defense weapons? Well, she's gonna kill the half city. Okay, yeah, the real issue is that Alma has a lot of weapons for some reason. She's gonna have to destroy the capital before we... Oh, she chose to buy cookies to her parents or something. She's a good daughter, yeah. They're like stalking her with drones, and she's like, I bought some cookies for mommy. And they're like, no! She can speak English perfectly, of course. She's an AI. She speaks every language. My name is Alma. Yes. I am a robot. I can do everything. Yeah, extremely sophisticated language barriers, of course. Oh my god, this classic algorithm here. This is the first algorithm you learn at school. It's like, yeah, shortest path algorithm. It's a super basic, guys. Let me show you guys. That was pretty cute though. She's doing like a shortest algorithm there. This is like the most basic math algorithm you learn in school, in like college. Yeah, I think this is the first algorithm like everyone basically learns. Usually it's called shortest path algorithm, right? So a very classic example is like, okay, make a code that looks at different, like, you know, bus tables or subs or whatever, trains and luas and so on, and calculates like the fastest path from A to C or whatever, right? Given different things, and for example, it's like, okay, it's 2 hours by bus to B, 8 hours to D, right? Then it's like, well, then it takes 5 hours, 6 hours, whatever, on this path. And then obviously you just calculate what is the shortest value, right? So it's like 2, 5, 3, 1, 3 or something. That's the fast way actually to get there, right? You have to call for that. Yeah, this is like the most basic thing ever. I've done it. I think everyone has done this kind of example. Algorithm, yeah, super basic, right? Honestly, I think this is the first thing you teaches your students. I mentioned earlier that I'm currently teaching people, right, AI stuff, but these are like people that are finishing their master graduate degrees, right? And they are gonna do like their exams or become PhD students. So it's obviously much more advanced. But sometimes when I teach people, this stuff we actually explain to them, but not on this level, much more higher explain, right? But it's a lot like that, honestly. You sit there at work and you can have a meeting with these two guys and trying to display some algorithm use like 10 times more advanced than this thing. So that's exactly where I am, because I don't teach people these. I would call this like level 1 algorithm, right? And the people I am working with, or my students, are kind of like at level 7 or 8 maybe, right? So they're pretty high up there. And it's actually really fun, seriously, guys. I was really enjoying it this spring when I was having to teach these two guys for like 4 hours. And it sounds weird, but no, I think it's really fun, because if you give a lecture at university, which I've done many times, of course, in my life, people are there and they're pretty serious and so on, right? But if you give a lecture only to two guys and like very high advanced algorithms, right? Like really high advanced AI stuff, it's actually really fun, because you can sit there for like 3-4 hours, right? And these two guys are like glued. They're like, oh my god, this is so interesting, right? Because when you teach someone at like a PhD level, they have really dedicated their life, right, to learn that stuff. So it is really fun thing. I mean, I've teaching stuff for many years, right? I've given many lectures in my life and so on. But I think actually the funniest bit is when you have these students that are really into it. So it is really fun actually to teach algorithms at like very high level, yeah. Very high level. The higher it is, right, the more hardcore the student is, and it gets really fun. But anyway, back to the anime. But is she gonna follow in on the bus though? Not as smart AI though. His parents are stalking her. Okay, it's problem solved. Yeah, her parents are stalkers. Yeah, like, it's okay. The anime is cute. Don't get me wrong though. It's a cute anime. Yeah, it's a cute. He picked him. He's like, yes, I see them over there. Only family gets like, yeah, your family's a bunch of weirdos. Oh, she got paid. That's the thing they bought earlier. Oh no! It melted. Mission failed. Oh yeah, she's gonna be all sad now. She bought ice cream to mommy and it melted or something. Yeah, it melted. Now that is like, you have to learn from your failures. Your ice cream melts. Like something stupid like that. You have to learn from your failure! Reinforced learning here. Hey, Odo-san! Yeah, you gotta learn from your failure, honey. Yes. Yeah, you gotta buy more popsicles. Yeah. But that was a cute moment there. Yeah, she's like, oh no, ice thing melts or something. Oh no. That's a cute anime. It was fun. It certainly had some moments where I really liked this point here of the drone, that it's ignoring the whole, is an AI smart enough and that stuff, right? They're definitely also playing on that the parents are, super geekers, right? And they have money and they can build weird stuff, and they're kind of like, helicopter parent is like super cool, especially, right, where the parents are very much, always monitoring the kids, driving them everywhere so forth, right? Constantly curling parents, but helicopters even more so. These guys are like droning parents. Yeah, they have a drone stalking their daughter all the time, and mom is like panicking. Oh, she's gonna get murdered immediately. Yeah. So I think it's kind of fun. Reminds me of an episode in Black Mirror, The Garden Island, my favorite episode. Yeah, with the mom. In Black Mirror, there's an episode where a mother buys this really weird system that they basically like implements a camera inside the daughter's eyes, right? So you can always see what the daughter is watching or whatever. So you can always like stalk on her. It's a very creepy episode. I recommend it heavily. Black Mirror, of course, is good overall, but that is one of my favorite Black Mirror. Yeah, I believe it's called Garden Angel. But anyway, I like the interesting parts. It wasn't just about her being an AI. Now, from a scientific step, as I mentioned earlier, right? Yeah, some of the AI bits didn't make any sense, and I know it's a comedy, so I'm obviously joking, right? But she keeps hacking the government. So, as I said earlier, reinforced learning will mean that she has to first do it a few times, hunt it how it works, and someone has to teach you that stuff. So it is a little bit weird. And again, yes, I know it's a comedy, but it's a little bit weird because she kind of like understands everything when it comes to technology, I guess, right? Like how to hack or how to find again and shortest path or whatever, like algorithms. She can do that immediately. But the other stuff she can't understand, like basically walking. Yeah, so it's a little bit weird. I mean, it generally doesn't make zero sense. Right? Like, it almost doesn't make any sense. Because the problem is this thing, right? And it's actually me and my brother usually discuss stuff when it comes to AI art, right? AI sloppy, because this, right? Is that the way my brother, he's very good at this, like figuring out if art is AI or not. And the way he does it, right, is he looks like an AI painting or whatever. And he's very good at saying that, well, this AI, not because it's bad, but because it's really good in particular places of it, and then bad at other places, right? So, for example, a human, if they draw a painting, right, they draw this anime character, you know what I mean, like of Maren or whatever, right? If they're really skilled, right, you can see them, you know, they're good at A, B, and C, and D, right? So let's say A is the first thing you learn in art school, right? This is how you do first, you do B and so on, right? But what an AI tend to do wrong, basically, even the good eyes, right, they tend to be really weird because they will fail the A stuff, the B stuff, the easy stuff that even kind of like noobish artists can do, right? But they're incredibly good at like E and D and F, right? So AIs tends to be extremely good, like a really well done AI art, right? Are very, very good at certain stuff that is very hard to learn, right? But at the same time, they're terrible at basic stuff, and that doesn't make any sense from an actual art perspective. That's how you can know that a lot of AI is actually fake art, AI or call it, right? Because you can see that, well, actually, if a normal human speak would make this art, they would be able to also do A, B, and C, right? It's kind of like, if you talk about math or whatever, right? It's kind of like you have a math exam, you know? You have like A, B, and C questions, right? C are the hardest ones, that gives the most points and so forth, right? And it's kind of like, how can you only solve the C questions? You can't solve the A questions, right? The C are much, much harder, but yet you can solve all the A. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, right? And I feel that Alma here, from me, that from an AI science standpoint, it's the same thing with her, right? And again, I know it's a comedy, so I still enjoy the episode. But from a scientific standpoint, yeah, it makes zero sense because she keeps having certain skills which are much, much harder to learn, right, and understand, and other skills that are very basic, and she doesn't know how to do them right. It doesn't make any sense. An AI wouldn't work like that. An AI actually would learn them both at the same time. AI would learn the simple stuff faster, right? You know what I mean? Because she's a reinforced learning, self-learning, machine learning AI. It's kind of like if you make an AI, you know, drive, you know what I mean? So the harder things to drive, for example, is parking, right? So I've been in a point where we had to. Actually, I was at Volvo many years ago at a conference at Volvo when you started doing like self-driving cars there. This has to be like 20 years ago. It's very, very old, right? And the problem wasn't like driving on the road, you know, straightforward, right? The problem was like doing double parking in between two cars or whatever. That was hard. How do I manage these things, so forth, right? Like, so imagine if the AI can only do the parking thing, but it can't do the straight up driving, right? That's how Alma feels to me. Like, she's just like doing this complicated stuff easier than the easy stuff. It doesn't make any sense. Don't get me wrong, it's not a funny anime, but I'm just like, from a scientific standpoint, I'm just like, oh, this is silly. It's really silly in that aspect. It's just like, what? Well, this doesn't make any sense. But overall, though, funny anime. I don't think it's as good as Spy X Family, though. No, it feels more generic, right? I've seen a lot of these animes before, you know. Like I mentioned earlier, non-Yon Biaru, so forth, right? This feels more like that. Gimmick, of course, is a robot, I get it, but yeah, it wasn't like super funny, honestly. And I think one very clear problem is, of course, the quality itself. I think for these kind of animes, they don't have to have the highest budget level. It's perfectly fine. But it was definitely a little bit of like a cheaper visual, cheaper animation. They took a lot of corners, right? But again, I think for this anime, it works, right? It works. So I will give it like an 8 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good episode. 0 out of 10 from my AI standpoint, though. From a scientific standpoint, no, that is like a 0. No, it made no sense. It's a little cute how they were referring to, like, oh, let me get the shortest path kind of thing. And it feels like the author has like Googled some of the basic algorithm stuff, certainly, and so forth. But no, it's a little bit weird. And I think the biggest issue for me, like I said earlier, from a scientific standpoint, was that moment where she only has, you know, like the modern family good vibes, right? Like, why would AI only know this is how a proper family is, you know? Why wouldn't she have any negative views of families or misunderstandings? It doesn't have to be that it's kind of weird, creepy anime, but she could have misunderstandings of, like I said, oh, is daddy cheating on mommy? Something that would be probably what I actually would think, right? The problem normally with training AI is that it does the wrong thing, right? If anything, I can't talk about it too much, but I was working on this project, and they were training an AI to fight another AI. You know, it's a very classic, you know, machine learning, reinforced learning. We have 2 or more AI agents like in combat, right? It's like a board game, whatever. They're training by playing at each other, right? It's very, very common. And they have done this mistake, and I saw it immediately, these students, that they had made the rules. You have different rules how to train it, right? And they had one of the rules was like, oh, if you do X thing, then you get points, and then Y thing, you lose points, etc. So the AI then, the agent for training, right, they had this really weird solution to win every time, because if they took a lead, they would then like refuse to engage with the other agent, right? Or literally just run out of the board or something. They would like leave the fight or whatever, leave this video game world, right? Because they were like, well, if we train, because they basically figured out that if I have like a 3-point lead, right, and then I just run away from you constantly, you will never actually get to me because this and this, that, and it was more work for them to just never engage ever again because they had enough lead. So even if they got minus point, basically they basically just deleted themselves basically instead of letting the player win, right? And you can imagine that in any kind of video game, like Smash or whatever. Let's say you play Super Smash Bros, right? And you play it on a point system, a score system, but you also have lives on the same time, like stocks and life, right? And a points. So if you have, let's say, a 5-point lead, and if you jump off with your character into, you know, with Mario and die, right, with Mario, then you lose like 3 points, then you leave with 2 points, right? But you only have 1 life left, right? It's better for you to like jump off the cliff instead of allowing Luigi to get you, right? Because then you get like minus 3 points, otherwise he gets like, say, 4 points of killing you or whatever. Yeah, so it's like, it's better you jump off the bridge, yeah. So the AI will usually invent these like really weird strategies, right, that we as humans would never do because it seems really off-putting or whatever, but they will do it, right? That being said, though, I think that's a mistake overall, and I saw it immediately with the students I had, right? Because actually, I saw that immediately. Like, no, that's what I would do too, you know. Like, I am an AI, no, but like, I also was like, no, I understand why it's happening, because if you don't care about, you know, having fun in this game, right, you don't care about, so to speak, ethical play styles, right, or enjoying the game, you just want to win, grief, you know, I would do the same thing, yeah. So that's what and AI is very unfair, right? It's just like, how would I ruin it for the other player at maximum levels, right? He doesn't care about the winning fairly, he just want to win it, and it means necessary, right? So that's kind of what when I watch anime, yeah, it's adorable, cute anime, I'm wrong, but also you're like, okay, this AI is completely nonsense because it would be somewhat more unfair, right? She would have this really weird takes on family, she would use all the weird stuff on the internet, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit like, yeah, okay, this just makes 0 sense. So, C out of 10, AI, technical standpoint, like a 7 or 8 from a comedy standpoint. Anyway, guys, like the video, subscribe, press the like button. If you want to see more AI stuff and so on, leave a comment below.